What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 108 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one half of the coolest dudes in video games, Greg Miller.
Hi.
Colin Moriarty.
Dead.
Yeah. Dead as a dog. Dead as a dead dog. Replaced by...
I'm Colin. New Colin.
The
Tim
legendary
Schafer.
Tim Schafer.
Yay! Now
First time on the Gamescast. This is a big deal.
Yeah, and the fancy place here with this thing in space.
Tell me more.
Little spaceship.
You are in the fancy studio.
Wait, where are we right now? Oh, in the snow.
Right, yeah. Again,
Yeah,
oh, there, now you can actually see the
It
characters.
smells good here too.
Now, here's my question. You have a daughter.
I do.
She's young.
Bring her into this. Great.
I got to get right to the, this is how I interview. I
I
get
don't
right
like where
into
this is
it.
going.
Yeah.
It's a dark place, but I think
Greg.
She's 8 years old.
I know that's why this plays well. I'm thinking even when she was younger. Have you ever? This is a question that's come up before on the Gamescast and or Game Over Greggy show and or just in the car ride. Have you ever had to put your daughter in a bathtub full of ice? Because you said episode 108, I started thinking of a fever reference to make, and then I remember that we've had this conversation before. At what temperature do you have to put a human being into an ice bath because their temperature's too high? I remember this
Never
happening.
Like at 105,
We've never had
you can
this
start
conversation.
convulsing, and you have to go to the hospital. It's like
I was
103. I think she's been almost like 103.
Did you put in the ice?
No, I never heard of
Is this
that.
the
Who has
ice
that
bucket?
much
Is this
ice on
the
hand?
ALS
No.
challenge thing?
If I can
A
drive to the
girl?
store to get ice, I can drive her to a doctor.
It was either, I remember in grade school, it was either Kathy Finnegan or Allison Fiery, but somebody
Yeah.
got so sick. You're not going to be able to find this on
I
Google,
would never
Tim.
use
You're not
last
going to be able to find
names.
this.
So she said she needed a kidney. Right? Is this how the story starts?
No, I remember that was the thing that came into school and was like, I was so sick, this happened. They had to put me in, and I was like, that sounds like a nightmare. That
Yeah.
sounds like freaking out. I'm like, where'd your parents even get that much ice?
It's too much
You can't
ice.
even touch ice for that long before you like. It
kinda
hurts.
burns.
It
Well,
hurts.
I'm sure
Which is
I'm sure there
ironic.
was water in there too. I think about the athletes. We've all seen Ballers. Think of
Oh,
the
I've
cover.
had to put athletes in tubs of ice.
Think of the
A
cover
lot
of
of
Ballers.
athletes.
The Rock sitting there.
Think about
Rock would know
ballers.
probably.
The Rock probably.
You wouldn't put your whole
would know.
body in ice unless you're trying to preserve yourself because you had a terminal illness and you wanted to live for 30 years.
Or you
Well, they
wanted
found a cure.
you want to go to the future too, just in
Cryogenic
general.
sleep. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, so here we have a video of Greg getting iced. Just scroll forward,
Wait, is that
Kevin.
ice about to drop on us right now?
No,
Oh my God, look at our old shit.
I remember that. That's what it used to be like. Tim,
Did
you
we
were in
talk
there.
about how that
No,
made it
no
the
good.
big thing that actually did?
What?
They
There
had
you
some
go.
big breakthrough in ALS because of the ice bucket challenge.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
No.
it was because
I
of
don't know
this
the-
this clip
This
right
is the one
here.
that did it. This launched 1 million people. That was it, right there.
Wait, okay, you're blocking it with your arm. That's kind of it looks.
Well, no, I was
Yeah.
being sensual. Trust
Oh,
me, it still
gosh.
got me. It still got me good. It was bad.
Where?
You look
When
so
do you wear
cold.
those?
Little
are those your
SpongeBob
current
undies.
glasses?
No, they're similar to my current
Thomas
glasses.
glasses.
I like these.
They're different. Thank you very much,
Good.
Tim.
Those-
It's always good.
You look good in
Welcome to the
glasses.
Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every
well, we
week
pretty
we
much nailed
talk
it.
about video games, all the things you love about them and all that. You already know this, but you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames to get the show early, or you can go to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and get the show late. A couple people went to Patreon, including Patreon producer of the month, Salem Ghanim Al Ghanim. Is that it?
No, he sent in a pronunciation
Salim?
guide. I can look it up for you.
Oh, did
no,
he?
yeah. Because I
Okay.
asked. Remember, this is a
Yeah.
Game Over Greggy show crossover, Tim. We're
He's the
crossing over.
Patreon
Oh, good.
producer
Oh, good.
for the month. Very
He
excited
sent
about that.
videos actually, because he's that good at how to pronounce his name.
And what's he going to be doing?
He just
He gave us
Made this happen.
money.
This
So he
happen.
says his
Oh,
last name is Al
executive producer.
Ghanim. Is that or Neem? Al Ghanim.
Al
Now
Ghanim.
here's how he said it.
Al Ghanim.
Ghanim. Well, that's not at all how you spelled it.
Ghanim.
That is not how you
Okay.
spelled it at all. And then I said, how do I say your first name?
It's Salam Ghanem Al Ghanem.
Salam Ghanim Al
Ghanim.
Ghanim. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Kind of sounded like Salam. Got him. I got him.
And thank you also to all the other people and your beautiful names that are going to scroll some way. I'm not even sure how that works. Okay, it goes up. It goes up.
I can see it. You guys can't see it?
No. This is because he's a professional. He's been doing this kind of stuff on Kickstarter.
We've
and
been
all
thinking
this.
people thanking our backers. By the way, thanks for backing. Just as a habit. I see that T-shirt. I'm like, thanks for backing. And I have to walk up to someone and shake their hand.
They're like, who are you? Get out of here.
Even when they're employees who got the shirt for free. I'm like,
Oh.
thanks for backing.
Greg Rice. Bum.
So Tim, how are you?
Oh,
What are
good.
you what are
Thanks
you
for
what are
having
you
me
up
here.
to? What you been working on?
We've been in the world of Psychonauts.
You're back in the world of
Oh,
Psychonauts.
there it is.
There he is, Mr.
I got
Psychonaut.
confused by the camera. I was like, there he is. Wait, where is he? Oh, there he is. Yeah, we're doing a VR.
Oh, yeah.
Psychonauts.
Rhombus
The
of Ruin.
Rhombus
In the Rhombus
of
of
Ruin.
Ruin,
Yeah.
which is like 2 Bermuda triangles back to back.
Now, did you figure out when this game's coming out?
It's coming out soon. It's
Okay.
coming out February 21st.
Okay.
That's soon, right? That didn't
That's
happen.
real
soon.
soon.
That'll
By
be-
the time this
yeah.
posts.
Yeah, this will be February 21st, right?
Yeah.
Or no,
You can-
about to be February 21st.
Pre-order it right now, and you're saying pre-orders. Come on, what kind of sucker do you think I am? But you get a free copy of Psychonauts.
Right. The PS2 classics with the trophies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with trophies on PS4, and then you get Rhombus of Ruin when it comes out. Was that too salesy?
No, that was like perfect.
Please buy it.
You need to get the
Is
info.
that saying no? Oh, that wasn't salesy enough?
wouldn't make
Let
sure
me
it's-
really drive home the point here.
Yeah,
Please
buy
buy
it.
this one.
Virtual reality.
Why did you guys want to do VR stuff?
Because we're kind of trendy, we're kind of hip and cool. And
When I think trendy and hip and cool, I think Tim Schafer.
yeah. We everyone in the studio was kind of curious about VR, and we tried it and thought it could do cool stuff, but it did kind of make us a little sick. Like I'm the first person that gets really nauseous if anything moves wrong in VR. We're like, what could we do where you're not moving a lot and being sick? It's like, well, if you're in one location, how could you do anything interesting? It's like, well, if you had psychic powers, you could do a lot. You could lift things up, move them around, and start to solve puzzles with them, set them on fire, and that got us into this, clairvoyance is one of the powers that Raz has. So if I can use clairvoyance to see what someone else sees, so I could jump into your head. So all of a sudden I'm in your head and I'm seeing
You'll
the world
never
from
get
your
out.
point of view, and then you see him and you jump. So that's how you navigate in the game, is you jump
Sure.
from brain to brain. So that's how we thought of that.
I did the airplane level. Now I'll get back to that.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Well, don't count your chickens before they hatch on it. Maybe I'm gonna turn on you here in a second. You don't know? No. Well, that's one of the interesting things about you guys is the fact that you jumped right into the swimming pool with Kinect, and now with VR you're right out of the bat too. Why do the new technology speak to you guys? Why do untested things like that speak to you?
It's funny because theoretically, I would say we're not that way. Like I'm really more about ideas and about technology and being dependent on technology. But so we're like, we don't care about the new technology. And then someone's like, with that new thing, what you could do? You could do this funny thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. And I love things that just potentially open up games to new people. Like Kinect was like, people who didn't like controllers could now play games.
Yeah.
And VR still has it's scary to put on the headset and you got to have a lot of. But if someone in your house who's never played a game can have an amazing experience to be transported to a faraway place, like all those movies where they put them on their grandma and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it's like it can just have its powerful effect. And I think that's really interesting to bring new people to games.
Yeah, we did a Let's Play with my mom where we put it on, and she jumped into Batman, and at the calibration screen, she put
on the helmet. She's like, I'm in a bathtub full of ice.
what happened to my
This is
kidneys?
amazing.
Gregory, this is just like that girl in school.
Yeah.
that had to be iced
Remember
down.
that girl that stole your kidney?
So, this is I feel like you and I, figureheads of our company, the faces of our company, right? I feel like we probably are the similar things, though, that I don't really know what the fuck goes on down, with anything.
You
that's
try
happening.
and you try. You don't want to dirty yourself with how the sausage
I'm
gets
just
made.
busy. I got things to do. I don't, there's only 5 of us. I can only imagine for you. For what you guys did with the Kinect and the games you made there, and what was it? Remind me the name. I remember the one.
The Happy Action Theater
Yes, thank you very much.
and Connect Party.
Right. Did you were those successes for you? Or did you guys feel those were successful, in terms of Double Fine sales or Double Fine products?
I would say 2 answers: no and no. No, but they actually, it was not. A lot of people have it now, but it didn't. There wasn't a big market for that when it first came out, and people were buying. It seemed like a lot of people were buying Kinects at first, and then they stopped buying, and then they stopped. They were going to bundle it, and then they didn't bundle it.
Yeah.
So it was not a lot of people to sell Kinect games to, but it's still one of the most successful games in that. I just love that game. I'm really proud of that game.
Yeah.
Even though it's probably fewer people have seen that than any of our other games, but when you're playing that game at a party or like a kid's birthday party or like Thanksgiving, and everyone from all different ages can get there and play this game, and they're laughing much louder than they laugh when they play a normal game. They're not all introverted and serious about it. They're just it's a very joyful thing that we made, and I really like it.
No, I agree with you because I remember that. Drew Murray, is that right? Who was Drew? Drew Skillman. Drew
Patrick
Skillman.
Hackett.
Right. He came through for the first Up at Noon, the pilot that I think.
Oh, that's right.
That
The unseen lost
never
episode.
even
Oh, that's
aired.
right.
Like the
Noon.
first
And
real one.
we did the Let's Play at Double Fine for
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I got to see that game, and it was one of those, my bias showing that I was like, well, I've seen Skittles, come on, Skittles, blah blah blah, like all these other Kinect games. I was like, this one's gonna be not a great game either. And that was the one where I was like, oh, I could totally see where this would be something that's interesting. Then you guys had the partner with Sesame Street, and you guys were doing cool stuff on the platform with these different things.
And then that team went on to basically make Tilt Brush. Tilt Brush, the VR Google VR drawing in 3D.
I play real games.
They
I
did
don't
that.
know what Google drawing 3D is.
Everyone, you guys, they all know what it is.
Sure they do.
They're all typing. You should really try Tilt Brush.
No. Should I?
It's cool.
What is it?
It's a drawing
it.
tool in 3D, and you can draw things and just be inside your drawings.
It's like inside Photoshop. That sounds scary.
No, and I think they did a lot of interstitials for what's the game with the pointy ball, the football. There was this guy and he was painting. That was all Tilt Brush. He was
Okay.
painting. He was painting logos for the. You don't know Tilt Brush. I don't know football. We're just
No,
lost.
we almost got
We're like
there.
ships.
Well, it's funny because
passing
you're
the
like,
night.
oh, you know, the pointy ball. It's like, oh, video ball.
Have
There's
you-
interstitials in video ball. I forgot about.
Video ball
Have you
stuff.
done a lot of VR?
I've done a lot of PlayStation VR. The thing about
Yeah.
it is, I am a console plebe. Like, I don't want to put the money into PC gaming. So like,
I
when
totally
people talk
understand
about Vive, they want to talk about Oculus. I'm like, those are awesome. We have a Vive here. The only PC capable of running a Vive here is the one that we stream and capture all the video to. So I'm not going to come in here and tether myself at Kevin's desk.
I mean, I think that's a big thing because the PlayStation VR, you don't have to like figure out what kind of machine to get. It's just it's that thing that you bought. That PlayStation is there, and the other thing, it's like I think the most comfortable one because it's like a crown.
Yeah, totally.
And also, you look the coolest when you wear that one because
That's true.
you
the
look
colored
like
lights, the blue.
yeah, exactly.
Blue
you look
makes you
like
look
a
cool.
Looks like you're
DJ
in Virgin
for
America.
Daft Punk,
Or you're Ray Gutierrez, yeah. No, but I mean,
and you can play Rhombus or Rune. Those are like the
there you
That's
go.
all you
Look
need.
at back to the real salesman pitch. I love it. Right back there.
Bye, Psychonauts.
How's it like to be back in the world of Psychonauts? It's been
It's
quite
fun.
some time.
I really, have a lot of affection for those characters because they were the first, and they came to life. The actors who did the voice were so close to us, and getting them all back in the studio and a lot of the team back together. It's just like a little family reunion.
How's it working on the VR game and then also Psychonauts 2 being a thing that exists?
It's cool because we can figure out little story things that kind of weave through all three games. The first game had some seeds for these ideas that were going to be in the sequel, and so we can plant things in the middle game. So it's like basically kind of working on them all simultaneously in a way. Well, we're not working on the first one, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
kinda,
yeah.
like we can kind of weave these little things in that for people who are paying attention. They can see all these little.
What I think is cool is with Double Fine, you guys have kind of, you have your Psychonauts games. There's obviously like the Brutal Legends and all that stuff from the past and all the legacy stuff that you did many, many years ago that made you the legend
Legacy.
that you
Yeah.
are today.
Full Throttle, what up?
How is it like when there's things like Gang Beasts, right? When you guys kind of like have all that. What does it mean to be a Double Fine game?
Well, that's a great question. Let me. What does
I
it
swear
mean?
to God, if you don't talk into the microphone.
It smells like cheese.
Nick! Damn it!
The company.
Your beard.
Yeah, there's like beard all over this, and it
Smell
smells
the
like cheese.
microphone and then smell the beard and tell me if it's all the same. Because Nick swears.
No.
And now it smells like cheese.
What? Oh, refill it. Wash it out and refill it. You're disgusting.
Everything smells like cheese. So that's the main thing about Double Fine games. They all smell like cheese.
Okay, good.
And we try to be a company about creativity. So I think anything that's really creative and feels really has a lot of character, I think fits with us. So I think everything we do internally fits that. And also Double Fine Presents is when we publish games external to us, like a Game Beast, that you just look at that game, it has tons of character. And it doesn't mean it has to have a big story or anything like that, but you look at it, it's super unique and it has a lot of joy to it. It's a big fighting game, but it's like makes people laugh out loud. And,
All the time.
yeah.
So Headlander, where does that fall?
It's also has tons of character. Lee Petty loves old 70s science fiction, Logan's Run, Barbarella type pre-Star Wars science fiction. And so it kind of reeks of that. And it has this really unique mechanic of being able to blast your head off your body and fly it around and solve almost like puzzles and also tactical combat in it. And
But is that Double Fine Presents or is that Double
that's
Fine?
Eternal. That's us.
you
That's
And criminally underplayed. Headlander was a great
criminally.
game.
It is actually, we're working on making that a law. That it is a crime
You will
to
be
play it.
prosecuted if you didn't play this game. Where you at?
It's
Gamers
super
that say you
fun,
want.
and you can play it.
No, yeah, Colin, I mean, a big Metroidvania guy, sung his praises forever. We, of course, did that Let's Play, I forget, going into E3 maybe?
Yeah, it was
Somewhere
right
in there.
before E3 last
Yeah,
year.
where we
We
went
did
and
a
did a
Let's
bunch.
Play of Gang Beasts on PS4,
Yeah.
Headlander, and we did
Is
the
Game Beasts
Rhombus
out on
Room.
PlayStation 4? What's the deal with that?
It's,
Yeah, what's the
it's
deal?
coming soon.
Yeah, it's been coming soon for a long
Coming
time.
soon.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
Okay, just making sure you understand that it seems
Game
like
Beast is the dopeness. Game Beast is like, it's such a special game. I think especially for like the YouTube Let's Play community, where there's something about the fact that you can play with 8 players and no one ever really feels like they're in control of what's going on,
100%.
which is kind of the fun of it.
As much as we've played Gang Beast, you would think we'd really have it down on how to win, and we never do.
But it's like, but when you look at it, you're like, it's supposed to feel that way,
Yeah.
and that's
And yet
right.
it's kind of your character's kind of expressing your just weird lack of control of it.
exactly.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the physics-based games, like the Goat Simulator, or any of the other I Am Bread or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like the comedic elements of that mixed with visuals that are just hilarious.
Just a touch of the murderous intent of those cute things, I think,
Yeah.
makes it a little bit like.
Well, it has like a
they're
Looney
little, but they're
Tunes
like,
element to
yeah,
it.
but they want to kill you.
Yeah.
They want to drop you off a ledge. Coming soon.
So I had a line of questioning that Tim tried to derail, but I refused to have it derailed.
That's what I do. I need to say things.
So
You gonna pour ice water on me?
no, you don't get to do the ice bucket challenge. It's come and gone.
Okay.
Remember when we were in a drought? Thank God that's over with. By the way,
You hear about the
Yeah,
new
I kinda
challenge
missed the
going on?
drought.
what's the new challenge?
Dumb kids in high school, like
The
they
dumb
have a
kids in
bunch,
high school challenge.
bunch of their friends have their backpacks, and the kid runs, and all the kids throw their backpacks at them. It's for a good time. YouTube that shit. Those kids get fucked.
They got
'Cause
books
I don't know if
in
you guys
there.
remember high school books.
They
They're a
do.
big
Are you talking
thing.
about a real thing that's going on now, or are you talking about a story from your childhood, a traumatic thing that happened
No,
to you?
these are real things, real things.
Now
and
you know
way
that I
too
bring
many
a
people
I bring a
don't.
backpack to
Story.
work every day.
So we can do it right now.
I was gonna say, can we just next time Colin walks in the office, can we enter him into it and
He's
not
got a
have him know?
PS4 in it.
I'm sure he'll love that.
For Psychonauts?
Yeah.
Big gap between Psychonauts 1 and any other Psychonauts content, whether it be Rhombus, whether it be Psychonauts 2, whether it be when you almost did Psychonauts 2 with Notch. Teased us all on Twitter about that one real hard. When you,
I did not tease anybody.
I'm just letting you know, as usual, Tim Schafer jerking our chains.
All I
Tim
said it
the
was
Tease
a
Man
powerful
Schafer is what I
Swedish
call him.
entity would help us make that game. And
Yeah,
that's why I went with
Well, he had
Starbreeze.
that candy room and then never looked back. What did you ever? I know, obviously, you talk about that there were seeds in the original Psychonauts for things you wanted to do in the future. Did you ever give up that dream of getting back to it?
You know, I mean, I had that thing that happened with Notch actually probably was what started that in my head. I started thinking, like, we'll never be able to go back to it. We'll never get the money to go back to it. And when he brought that up, I was kind of thinking, oh, you know, if we did do it, it would be kind of cool. And you could actually do these fun things with the characters, and this would be cool. And then by the time it was clear that he wasn't going to do it, my head was already like, we should really do Psychonauts 2. So he does get some credit for that.
Okay, get some.
Yeah, he gets
Cool.
give him a little credit
But
for
then you were
that.
there for it, and the rest
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Okay. And then my question about Psychonauts on VR: Are you worried about VR being like Kinect? Because that's right now. You understand? You walked into a house that PlayStation built. We're the PlayStation guys. PS I Love You. We seem to talk every week where we're talking kids off ledges. It's not all that bad for PlayStation VR. We understand there's not a lot of AAA stuff for it. But Sony isn't abandoning it like they've abandoned the Vita, like they abandoned the Move, like so on and so on.
Hey,
and
we
so
used to
forth.
make Vita games.
I know you did. You still do.
Yeah. Full Throttle.
Full Throttle's coming out.
Yeah.
When's Full Throttle coming out? Did you figure this
Full
out?
Throttle's coming out soon.
God damn it! Fuck.
This is really soon.
Okay, it better be. We'll put a pin in Full Throttle because I want to come back to that.
All right.
But
But we're still making Vita games.
sure, yeah.
And we're making PlayStation VR 8s. I think actually, I've heard it's doing well, and I think it's going to go on for a while.
That's the hope. Yeah, is that it's doing well, and I know they sold through their stock, and it was hard to find for Christmas, and still coming out of that, it seems hard to find.
Yeah.
But it's that once bitten, twice shy thing, right? Where I think people have felt burned before with Sony's support of Vita, of Move, of whatever, and so then when it seems like, is this happening again? People start to get really, really gun shy about it.
But there's some great games already. I really like Wayward Sky. Did you play
Yeah,
Wayward Sky?
yeah, I did play Wayward
There's
Sky.
There's two things I love in VR. The one is just the awe of big things. Like, did you ever do that ad for the movie The Walking Across the World Trade Center?
No.
I
No,
want
the
to do
walk.
that so bad.
I was
No,
like,
the wire.
I guess VR is kind of cool. And then I did this, it's called like The Walk, and it fades in, and you're on the corner of the World Trade Center, and you're supposed to walk. And I was just like, my legs were like, nope, not
Yeah.
moving. I was like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. People are watching me. And you think it's just make believe, but I couldn't do it for the longest time. I had to like tell myself I'm not standing in a car. Anyway, that was a very powerful, like a big thing. But also, I love little things in VR, like getting your heads up to like little miniatures. Like in Wayward Sky, she has this little like red scarf, and it's something about it looking like a little doll. It's like really compelling.
No,
know what
for
that is.
sure. Like the first time I had a VR moment with any of them was when we were still at IGN. I just had finished Up at Noon filming. It came out and sat down and put on, I think it was Oculus 1.1 or whatever. It was like just the next one where all they had was a tabletop simulation of this game where golems were like hopping around and shooting fire, and they were pausing and stuff. And I was sitting there in my tie, and I had the headset on. And they're like, "Well, you can." I'm just watching. I'm like, "Man, this is really cool." And they're like, "Well, you can lean in. You can look at the detail." And I went to lean in, and I felt my tie move away from my body, about to hit the table, and I grabbed it and pulled it back, and I was like, "Oh, right. There's like no real table here for it to hit. There's nothing for it to interact with." And it was the same thing that when we got the Vive in the house, when we were still at the old, my house, we were working on a spare bedroom, where Kevin set it up one morning, and I went in there before calling her live and put it on. And to go from, you remember the cramped spare bedroom where I got the computer right in front of me and the collar.
We all sat on the bed.
Yeah.
And then we had to flush the toilet from the, yeah.
all of that around me and put it on and just boom. And I'm in an airplane hangar. And you can see 100 yards on either side. And it was like, wow, that's mind blowing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
being able to sit there and just like turn around and there just be like, there's a wall right behind you, but then it just feels like it's this expansive
You're like,
thing.
if only there were like some psychic little kids around me.
Yeah, exactly. That's
That's
exactly
what I
what I wanted.
want. That's
That's
what
what
I
I wanted. So then do you think VR is here to stay? Is that a real thing? Is that
Yeah.
something you guys believe in?
Yeah. And I think this is a different kind of game in that it has a lot of characters and comedy in it. I don't think there's a lot of that in VR yet, like funny kids hanging out.
No. They got Gary the Gull, but you know.
Job simulators.
Yeah,
probably.
sure.
But
But
it
even
has,
job
like, it has a
simulator, like a
narrative.
narrative.
Robot
You
golf.
move from location to location. There's a narrative, and there's a. I was about to say and a story.
There's narrative and a story.
Yeah.
There's a story
That's-
for everybody, and there's a narrative for the smart people.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the thing is, I feel like this game's kind of unique in the sense that it's a hardcore game. It's like a gamer's game.
Is a
It's
game.
probably
It's a
the
game.
right way to put
'Cause
it.
I mean, a lot of them are like there's an experience. It's like it's kind of a tech physics demo,
Yeah.
and you're under the water, and that's cool.
Just move
Do
it
you want
with
me
you.
to
Just do this. Just
just
do
lick
this.
it?
That's all you
Move it
gotta
with
do.
me?
If you're gonna look at Tim, yeah, there you go. You got it.
Is that cool to do?
That's totally cool.
I feel
Kevin,
like
is that
I'm
cool?
moving the
Kevin likes it a
furniture
lot.
around on the set.
You can do whatever you want on the set.
How about this?
You want
Is
to
that
go grab
cool?
something
Is this
off the
cool?
shelves? Bring
Is
stuff
this
over.
cool?
It doesn't matter.
Table, not scratched at all.
Hey, they're like, hey, we're gonna get a really shiny table. Man, that sounds like a terrible idea.
It's a great idea. It reflects the background and it's pretty. It's really nice. Look at that. Oh,
No
background
regrets.
changed.
Kind of funny.
Phil DeFranco uses an iPhone for his videos, and he is a millionaire.
Fake truths.
Well, you have 3 iPhones. I see there.
Alternative facts.
What were we talking
I
about?
have no idea what we're talking about. Psychonauts.
Psychonauts being actually a game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's
So
actually a game that
especially
has
with
puzzles.
Resident Evil 7 having just come out, like being, I would say, the first real game, AAA game on
Play it all in VR?
place.
'Cause I've been playing it
just played a
regular
little-
mode, and I'm actually kind of afraid to put.
Yeah, I
I'm
played
like,
regular.
It's kind of scary enough,
did
and I'm
VR.
like, ooh, I don't know if I want to.
VR, and that was what we're talking about, where VR was a different experience for sure. I did the first 4.5 hours, I think it was, or 4, I forget. You can watch the review. Give me a view. And I put it on, and it was the thing of like, you've played through it, right? So like, no real spoilers.
Yeah.
But the first, boss you fight, like the old man of the house, where he's like, when he busts through the
That's
wall
where
and
I
he's
died.
chasing
That's
you
where-
around, it was like, I felt tingly all over of adrenaline in my body in a way that you don't get when you're just running through as a character.
I mean, it's like you feel really vulnerable in VR. Like you
Yeah.
really feel like you're there, and it's really intense when people look like at the end of, or when you're playing Batman.
Yeah.
And Batman's looking at you. It's almost too intense.
Yeah.
Because he's not like a friendly, jovial face.
No,
to
no,
look at.
no.
And he's like got the cowl on. He's looking at you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know he's not really here, but this is weird. And when you move his head, he follows you around like, Batman, be nice.
So,
Yeah. But
Rhombus-
this has puzzles. It has,
So,
and
yeah.
we were working on it. We're like, hey, this is a kind of an adventure game. Even though after Broken Age, I was like, I'm gonna take a break from adventure games. But we're like doing this game where you are picking up objects and using them with other objects and solving puzzles by doing that. And we're like, this is like a kind of a gaze and click adventure. That's TM.
Yeah, I like that.
It's not that catchy. Gaze.
ballpark, or at least, how long is it?
It's about 3 hours.
Really?
I think.
Okay, that's great. Because my takeaway when I played it
Feels like
originally,
9.
Feels like man, it is a slog. Let me tell you. No, when I played the plane demo, and I played that a long time ago. I feel like whenever
That was right before E3.
was it
last
that
year.
same thing?
Yeah, it was the
oh
same
wow.
day.
Okay. That was the thing of playing it. I thought it was going to be an experience. I didn't know how much more there would be after it because the
No,
plane
it's
obviously is
just
the
the first
intro of how
location.
you're going to do it and stuff. And like I
Move
remember,
around.
Yeah.
There's things that happen.
things happen in this narrative story game.
Narrative and story.
Wow.
Puzzles and things to solve.
So is this a kind of? You walk me through, I guess, green lighting a game at Double Fine. How many games right now are in production? Are you guys working on it?
We're doing, Psychonauts 2.
Uh-huh.
We're doing a secret thing. We're doing Full Throttle.
Okay, well, you're taking Full Throttle, put in a disc slot, copying it
Rhombus
to the
room.
PlayStation.
Oh my God.
It's super easy.
Oh, just a bunch of people at the office just killed themselves. They just cried themselves to death. Do you know how many? They're repainting every single frame of animation. Remember that mine road?
Yeah.
Like every frame.
That's a lot of-
going by.
that's a lot of frames.
Remodeling all the bikes, like all the 3D assets were lost, so we remodeled all the bikes from scratch because they were three. That was like really early, like 95, 94. We were like using 3-dimensional graphics.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And then painting over all of them.
Yeah.
But
Exactly. That's how you do it, right?
yeah. Because we did Rebel Assault. Remember Rebel Assault? It was like this streaming. You'd be going down this trench. Streaming, going down this trench. I'm a pro with the mic now.
Yeah.
Nailing it. You're destroying it.
And you shoot TIE fighters, and they were just like, let's just render that trench really low and put a motorcycle on it, and
There you go.
yeah. And then we just copied it over.
Yeah.
Just like you said. But yeah, no, it's a really like labor intensive thing, this Full Throttle thing. And painting it, finding it, going up to the ranch and the Skywalker Ranch and going into the archives. This is me digging
Going through the archives? Sure. Yeah.
And finding like old DAT tapes or tapes that don't, like SCSI drives that we don't, like, how are we going to get anything off this drive? Finding the original uncompressed voice and audios, and renegotiating with the band that did, like, hey, can we get those master tapes? And just, there's a lot of that stuff that goes into it. And so no, Greg. It's not just
a copy and paste. Okay.
You have to copy, and then you have to punch out the thing that says read only, and this is like a lot of work. A lot of work.
Put a save
Then
anywhere
paste.
system in there.
So what else we got?
There's that.
Psychonauts Secret Project, Full Throttle.
And Rhombus Ruin. Psychonauts 2 and Rhombus Ruin. 2 Psychonauts games.
Okay, sure.
So the green light process?
Yeah. The question I drive at is like, do you want to do more VR stuff? Is there bandwidth to do more VR stuff?
And right now we're pretty busy.
Yeah.
With all the Psychonauts stuff going on. But we'll see how this one does. If people like it. I would love to do more VR.
Okay. And then is that how it works? If somebody's on the if someone on the team is excited for something, they have to come pitch it to you. They have to come pitch it to the team.
Well, yeah, we a lot of it has to do with people who like feel passionately about something, and like Lee Petty had been our art director on Brutal Legend, and he's like, I can do this Russian nesting doll game. And so it's like, and we also have a kind of a game jam process that helps. We call Amnesia Fortnite, which is we take a break from what we're working on for 2 weeks, and then we split up the company into small groups, and they all make a little game in 2 weeks. And that's where stacking came from in Costume Quest.
I know where Costume Quest came from. Don't worry about it.
And we want to do that again really soon. And we do that not just to generate games for us to make, just to let people try different things and experiment.
I mean, do you feel... Is that important to not just Double Fine, but to developers in general?
To do game jams?
Yeah, to experiment and do something different.
Because you get in these production cycles, huge. Like if you say you're on some 200-person team that lasts for 3 years or 4, you lose that that kind of playful feeling of like, let's just try this. I mean, you can find that wiggle room inside of a big team. Like I'm going to
break the entire game. I'm
going to do this mini game and just see it, but to do a game jam in 2 weeks, you really can just do like one idea. Like let's just do one mechanic and try and make that fun. And I think people like to experiment with that kind of stuff.
Okay,
It's true.
Yeah.
Now, are you aware that Full Throttle is my introduction to you? Now, I didn't know it at the time
No.
because my friend Poe.
I thought it was when we accidentally sent you that email that told us all the secrets about
That was
stacking.
even better. Have we ever told that story on any of
No.
these podcasts? Oh, this is one of my favorite memories of all time because this is before Greg Miller is like Greg Miller. Like you knew who I was. You know what I mean? Like I think I
Did
met.
you just say that?
That's
This is before Greg Miller was Greg Miller.
Well, I mean,
That's
before
a-
like
that's a
I was
thing.
vocal,
I
like
get
I
it.
was vocally in the industry where you
Yeah.
knew me from Up at Noon, and like you knew. I think we had met once, and I think I totally fucked up the introduction and just stood there because I remember it was when I was dating Christine, and she was a big fan of you, and she already had like a relationship, like she knew who you were, and so I went up to meet you. I think it was that Jack League's beef jerky dancing thing IGN did at 21st Amendment, and like I walked over, I'm like, here's my chance. I got to impress this guy that Steiner likes. I was like. You're like, hey, I'm Tim. And I'm like, hey, I'm Greg. And I just jumped in the middle of this conversation. And I don't know what it was. It was something of like, yeah, why do they do that? And my response was, I wanted to quote Seinfeld because I thought this would impress you. And so I wanted to say, yeah, why does Radio Shack ask for your phone number when you buy batteries? Instead, I said, yeah, why does Radio Shack I just dropped it. You looked at me and we looked at each other and that was the end of it.
No, but I got it. I was like, you're one of those weirdos with that obscure show called Seinfeld.
Yeah,
That's like a
I was
niche
hip. I was
thing.
hip. I knew you were a hip guy.
But actually, I'm with you on the batteries because that's
All these
That's
years
the
later,
connection.
Greg, you now know.
not a
He
lot of
was
people
with you.
remember being part of the Battery Club.
Yep.
at
Oh, yeah,
Radio
yeah.
Shack,
That
or
was
the
a
fact
big
that
deal.
Radio Shack was around.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's that connection we made. Like,
And so-
hey, you're old, I'm old.
So that was it. That's the only time I've met Tim,
Yeah.
talked to Tim, and that wasn't even really talking to somebody. And so what it had been was, that THQ was putting out stacking, And with THQ being run this well, who can imagine them going out of business? And they were there was an internal chain about where they should put their exclusive. Like, should it go to IGN or should it go to GameSpot? And they were debating back and forth.
They're doing this whole big plan, and we were all talking on it. And then we have a producer named, at the time, he was named Gabe Miller.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't really reading that clearly, but it looked like Gabe Miller was suddenly like, I think we should go to IGN.
Because what happened is the THQ PR person was like, let's get Gabe's opinion and put autofill Greg Miller IGN and send it to me. So all of a sudden
he was spying on this email chain.
This email pops up and I go to the bottom and I read it to the top of them debating where to go. And it's like, yeah, and it was THQ going, yeah, I think we should end up going to GameSpot on this one because of X, Y, and Z. And I just chimed in, I'm like, I don't know, I'd go to IGN.
That's fucking awesome.
And we didn't notice it for a while.
Yeah, no one said anything. No one ever responded. I got removed from the chain.
I just thought our Gabe had an opinion about these sites, and he really liked IGN.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Who'd you guys end up going with?
Best friends.
They went with
since.
GameSpot. It was done.
Oh,
yeah. No.
damn.
We never got another stacking exclusive.
David Hatfield really liked stacking.
So did Steimer.
Yeah,
a lot of people
went to IGN.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kevin Coyle likes that. Now, Kevin, I said if you're going to chime in, you have to use your little camera. We spent money on this thing. Do it. Tim's pointing at it. He's clicking. He's pointing. He's snapping.
It's not working.
No, hold on.
And 1, 2, 3.
Hey, there it is.
I really like stacking.
It's like you're doing a Let's Play of Kind of Funny Gamecast.
Oh my
That's
God.
true.
Yeah.
He is doing that. Wow, that's really good. But no, it was that my friend Poe, who back in Chicago, growing up, I introduced every game to him every time at blah, blah, blah. And then one day, I forget, he got sick of me playing SimCity and telling him how great that was. He came over with Full Throttle and popped it into my machine. We sat there and played it all night long. Loved it.
That's awesome.
My
Poe?
first adventure game.
His name was
Poe. Yeah.
Like a Star Wars character? Like a poet?
Well, no.
Poe?
Pat Polasic is full name. But Polasic is a hard name to get. So people, I think some track coach just shortened it to Poe. Some meathead track coach on it.
There we go.
That's a cool
We called
name,
him
though.
Gula growing up. There's a lot of he got that name from biting a kid
what
on the
was your
foot.
nickname back then?
Oh my God.
No.
Bugs.
I was Bugs in my
He was
my
Bugs for a
family
while.
and my family and friends.
Blue.
I've never had a nickname.
Really?
And nothing ever sticks.
Little
People try to come
Timmy
up with the
Schafer?
meanest things and they just don't stick. I'm like Teflon for nicknames. Wow. Except for during one recess, I was called Tim Shave Your Butt for like a 30-minute recess period.
That's really funny.
Didn't stick.
I like it though. That's good.
So hopefully you'll
Yeah.
come up with one.
I got Tim Spaghettis. That was a thing.
Tim Spaghetti's
And I was like, I like
yeah,
spaghetti.
yeah.
And then they're like,
Yeah, thanks.
See, if we're talking about negative nicknames, yeah, I used to have a mole behind my ear. And I still have a mole over here, but it's hidden by my hairline. And I eventually got removed, obviously, because like, well, we don't have skin cancer or something. But I remember there was a bully in grade school who called me Mole for a long time. Called me Mole. Yeah. And then there was a kid in summer camp, positive nickname, called me Spud. But he said it with such an endearing way.
You,
I was
you
like,
have a lot of weird ass names in your life.
Bug, Spud, Mole.
Bug, Spud,
Blue.
and Mole sound like characters.
Blue is
in
a
it.
thing, right? People called you Blue.
Oh, yeah, when I had blue hair. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are dumb.
People are dumb. Yeah, dumb. Yeah.
Costume Quest.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
You like
Well,
it.
so
You're a
Full
big
Throttle's
fan.
coming up. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to play it on Vita. Thank you for supporting Vita. Costume
you,
Quest, I do
Vita.
love. You know I love Costume Quest. Have you heard me talk about
There's
Costume
going to
Quest
be a
before?
cartoon.
That's
That's
what
what
I
I'm
wanted to
excited
bring
about.
up. So
Tell me all about it. Frederick.
How did you ever imagine that like something you made would then kind of leave,
For the record, Tosh made this. He did nothing.
would then go to become a
Tasha.
different
Tasha.
medium?
Yeah. Actually, in the early days of
I swear to fucking God.
what do I have to do?
Just rotate it. If you're rotating your head that way, just rotate the mic with you, Tim. And you want to come in here and replace Colin full time. This is your audition.
I know. Okay, sorry. I'll just keep my hands. Hi. So,
I like it.
in the early days of Double Fine founding, we're gonna make stuff for everything, games and maybe cartoons and stuff like that. And then we're just really focused on the games. And Costume Quest was that game that Tasha she made. She's watching it right now.
She's not.
She's probably yeah. You think they work over there at?
They picked Pixar.
Pixar?
Right?
They don't do any work.
True story, Tim. One of the few developers I've ever been starstruck around and can't speak to, Tasha Harris. Now, Tasha, I can't pronounce her last name.
Sonart.
Sonart? Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Saw her at Game Awards one year with Greg Rice, and I was just like, I can't
handle
even
this.
approach this. I don't know how, I have no, because again, it was before I knew Greg super well. I had no approach.
Yeah, you know in.
See, I just realized you don't have to see. In my own defense, the middle seat is harder.
It's true. It's
You
very
don't
true.
have to do this.
Do you want to switch to this one? I can
This
go and
is-
rotate from the middle.
No, I got it. I'm
He
practicing.
got it. He's down.
But it is nice. It is. You think about this and this. This animated piece, we got involved with Frederator. Frederator does a lot of
The
the
homies.
pilots for like Adventure Time and a lot of shows like that. And Zach Gorman, who did we first saw Zach. He did like a cartoon about Costume Quest and Manny and some more games on. It was on Kotaku. It was like an animated greeting card. We're like, that's cute. And then he ended up doing the Cosmic Quest book.
I have it
the
on my
graphic
shelf.
novel. Yeah. And then Patrick McHale came in to direct the pilot. He's the guy who did Over the Garden Wall, right?
I don't know.
Do you ever start talking and then you're like, wait, how much of this is
Oh,
public?
that's literally all I
This
do.
is all public.
That's
This is
our
all
show.
public. I'm like always the guy who's like, the PR person's like, we're not supposed to. That's not announced
Don't
yet. but-
email IGN about the GameSpot exclusive.
Don't Greg. So just a lot of that's the exciting part. Just all these really super creative people that we've already previously admired are being involved in this thing, and to have it be announced to be a whole season is great. And I don't have to do any of the work.
Sure.
I just sit back and just watch it.
What I like personally is that as a Cosmic Quest fan, I feel like this is you taking the thunder back. Because you tweeted about this, and I'm not sure we ever talked about it. I'm sure you remember. Remember when that weird movie got
Fun
announced?
size. You're talking about fun size.
Fun size.
Fun size.
Tim, you ever hear about this?
Fun size, no.
So Cosmic Quest comes out, huge hit. It makes sure Double Fine will be open the next 2
changes
decades.
your life.
It changes everybody's life, really. It's about, Ren,
Yep.
her brother. Then this movie, Fun Size, gets announced, like a Fun Size candy bar, about a sister, Ren, and her brother. Same names,
Yeah,
right?
her name is Ren.
Yeah.
And her brother gets kidnapped on Halloween.
By monsters, and she has to go collect candy. And like, wait, that's Costume Quest. Literally the synopsis of Costume Quest. And they greenlit a movie on
We
it.
like circulated that around and we're like, hey, this is just weird. It's just weird that so many similarities. Maybe it's just completely accidental, or maybe you hear something out of the corner and you forget you heard it, and then you're like, I have a great idea.
Yeah.
What if there's a girl named Ren? Maybe that happened. I'm not saying. I've never watched it. I should probably watch
Did
it.
it come out?
It's a thing that exists somewhere.
Oh, really? I assumed it just died in the water like every other movie.
There's even Stevens. That had a sister named Ren.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
This thing.
We
Probably
huge
had
crush
a
on her
related.
coming up.
Makes
Shia
sense.
LaBeouf, I was like, look at this nerd. He's never going anywhere. And then
Big fan of him.
bam, he went
LaBeouf.
somewhere, and then he kind of
He
went
did.
crazy, and then I don't know what
Yeah.
he's doing now.
He was in that American Honey movie.
Yeah, was that good?
I know a lot of people love that movie.
It's on my Amazon queue, but it looks kind of depressing.
I think it is kind of a downer.
Can't be,
I didn't
can't
see
be
the
more
ending.
depressing than Transformers.
No.
True.
Yeah.
Are you ladies' man? 69,
It doesn't hurt.
69?
It doesn't hurt your childhood. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.